Under the directorship of Paul John. They got reshadowed back for this tournament, so he'll add a bit of continuity to the team. And like you said, there's a couple of new caps with that Tavish Noyle, Chris Knight and Adam Warren, so a few unknowns.
Absolutely. And the French as well have had a good season, up tied for 5th with Kenya. I mean, this is, I guess, is a great example of how the Sevens World Series is really growing and spreading. What is it about their style, Simon, that you like? What is their strength for the French?
It's the French character. I mean, the start of their season was fantastic, the way they played in those first few tournaments. They've tailed off, and they can be as bad as they can be good, sure, which is one of the great strengths of the passion of the French side, but also can be his weakness. It's great to see Terry Bourreau back, although he's not starting this particular game, because he is a clever player and does bring a different kind of dynamic and good decision-making and a good attacking threat to their team. But I think particularly key for both these two teams is the lack of jet lag and travel they have to face with, sure, which for sides which they've travelled halfway around the world, and for sides that generally don't arrive with too much free time on their hands. This can be a big factor for both these teams in this tournament.
Absolutely. This is actually from Pool D, and it's an interesting pool, this one. Along with Wales and France, you've got USA and Russia, so you'd argue that very evenly matched and a great opportunity to get a leg up on the opposition in this opening match, Wales against France. Let's head back to Glasgow with your commentators for this one, Ian Evans and Mark Robson.
Blue, red.
In the second half, and racing back there is Vincent Inigo, and the Welsh come in hard and fast at the breakdown. And again, good defensive work by Wales, flooding 3 players in there to the very important contact area in Sevens rugby. And breaking away is Jean-Baptiste Gobelet, the Biarritz beast. He really is a massive winger. Hard to believe that he played on the wing at club level, and taken away by Steve Barry.
A good tackle there by Owen Williams. Defensive press. Argentina very impressive with that early on in the tournament. Good defensive press by Wales.
It was Lee Williams, and looking for a bit of width here, and a chance for Owen Williams. Look at the pace from Owen Williams, and good covering defensive tackle by Inigo. Williams again. Now there maybe is a chance out wide here. They take the straight line through Craig Price. There's plenty of bulk in that particular individual as well. Williams, and now it's Gareth Davis, and they're getting closer and closer to the line here are Wales. And looking round this narrow side, it'll pop offload to Lee Williams. Might have been productive there. They might not need it, but the French defence, was it strong enough to drive Wales into touch? No, it wasn't. Good work on the line.
Owen Williams, there's great strength there. He had a chance earlier on. He carried the ball in the incorrect hand. You need to carry the ball in the outside hand. There's no room for defend. But Wales didn't panic. They went through the phases again and eventually created the try. And this is the grounding for Owen Williams. Again, ball not in the correct hand, but he still managed to squeeze in the corner. Good strength from Owen Williams.
Really did show marvellous strength there, didn't he?
Yeah, this is the chance earlier on. Our ball should be in the outside hand, so you can fend. He couldn't fend there, but Wales managed to get away with it. Maintain that press, maintain them to press defensively, but then held onto the ball, didn't panic, and a good start from Wales in this game.
Gareth Davis with the attempt there, but the first try of this game scored by Owen Williams. The Welsh, after the Hong Kong final, didn't kick on at all. They dropped off the radar in Tokyo, but hopefully they'll have recovered from that, and they're looking to put up a good performance here in Glasgow. Of course, no jet lag to worry about here at the Glasgow Sevens for the likes of Wales.
Relatively home game for the home Unions.
Great take by Jonathan Legel. And they do have a lot of height, this French side. There's no question about that. Some big men in the Gallic ranks. And back there goes Gareth Davis for Wales. He's got Lee Williams to his right. Oh, good step by Gareth Davis. Now there's one covering Frenchman, Inigo. And Inigo, is he going to do enough? The offload is there for Williams. And still Wales through Adam Warren, who made a big impression with the Scarlets when he came on the scene through the LV Cup for the Welsh regional side. And it's Lee Williams again. Now Gareth Davis, he's played a really central role already in this game for Wales. What a dummy that was. The French bought it, all ends up on a second Welsh try.
Two outstanding bits of play there from Gareth Davis, both included a step. You need a good step in Sevens rugby. Beat that first man, and when you beat the first man, you're in the open space. But even when he made that first break, initial break, he didn't panic. Again, big, strong step. Just move the point of contact. Defender sold himself far too easily. Away went Gareth Davis. Knew he didn't have quite the speed to take on the sweeper. Waited, bided his time. Lee Williams was there, eventually supported. No one panic. The key here is composure. No one panic, throw the ball away. Possession is everything in Sevens.
Gareth Davis with the extra 2, and in that final against Fiji and Hong Kong, Corey Allen scored 2 tries in the first 3 minutes of the final. 19-0 at the break, but Colin Soy with 3 tries for Fiji early in the second half put Wales away. But what a performance it was in Hong Kong, and they started off in fine style here.
Corey Allen was outstanding in that tournament, and a young man with a bright future. As a man who's been a sparkling start, Gareth Davis to this game. Again, 2 strong steps, beat the defender.
Well, he's doing everything at the moment, isn't he? Gareth Davis scoring tries, taking the restarts, and the drop goal conversion attempts as well. Down on the ball, there goes James Davis.
Off a kick-off by Blue.
And there's been a knock on. So the Welsh get the put into the scrummage here. 2 tries already. Owen Williams and Gareth Davis getting their names on the board.
Crouch.
It's so important to have a good, strong start to this tournament. It's a bit cold at the moment. Some of the teams seem to be struggling to get into the pace of the game.
Gareth Davis once more, and now it's Owen Williams. And the man who's trying to hold him up there is Jean-Baptiste Gobelin. But into the side come France, and that is a penalty to Wales. Gareth Davis almost inevitably yet again. Now Adam Thomas, and on the outside is James Davis. Wales looking for a 3rd try before the break. Just a minute to go now as Gareth Davis again looks wide for Craig Price, and a good step by Price. He's a real barrel of a man, is Price. And again they get close to that French line, and hovering on the wide outside is Owen Williams, and Gareth Davis tries to go himself. Lee Williams, oh, they must score here, and they will, and they score very comfortably indeed through Adam Thomas. They sucked in the French defenders, and then there was so much space around.
Yeah, good ball retention. French tried to throw people in the breakdown to try and turn over the ball, weren't able to do so. But as soon as you commit to the breakdown, you have to throw that ball in, because if Wales were able to retain that, they were always going to score. Numbers ensured that, but good, powerful runs. They dominated the territory, they dominated the possession at the moment, Wales, and they're maintaining their composure. Take the chances when they come on offer.
He's a little mastermind as well, isn't he, Lee Williams?
He's the one that makes them tick. Really has an outstanding Sevens playmaker.
Let's go. You've got 3 seconds unless it's void.
Gareth Davis, this could be the last activity of this first half, and there is Paul John, the Welsh coach, who's done such a great job with this Welsh side.
Again, a lot of French teams standing around the breakdown. You can't afford to do that. You leave too many openings. Sevens team, you love big gaps in defences. Paul John will be a very happy man after the first half performance.
Well, there's the hooter, and that
was it?
will be the final play of this first half, is it? We're going to get one more crack at it here. 19 points to 0 to Wales in this first half. The ball going straight out there. So can France get back into this game? Dalinha need a bit of inspiration from their captain. Albert Adejo looking for width on the outside, and it's Dalinha in possession, and France have hardly seen the ball in attack in this first half. It's good defence by Wales again, not allowing the French any space at all, and they've turned the ball over too. And here's Lee Williams. Like, can he show his pace down the outside? Needs support and finds it again inside, and driven into touch is the score of that 3rd try for Wales in the first half. Adam Thomas, but that's a pretty good result from the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, pretty commanding first half performance by Wales. They dominated the territory, dominated the possession.
First half, there's some sensational touches and line breaks. You put that width and the ability to pass accurately, do the basics well, with France overcommitting. There's lots of opportunities for Wales, and they're performing very well in this first half.
Certainly are. Remember, of course, they are the defending Rugby World Cup Sevens champions from 2009. So we'll have one eye on that tournament in a couple of months' time. For now, though, let's get back to Glasgow. In second half, they lead 19-0 with Jan and Mark.
I'm not held.
There's plenty of muscularity about this Welsh side.
He's a strong man, another one with a bright future.
And well, I thought for 1 second there that Craig Price was going to go straight through the middle of that French defence. Here's Albin Adejo.
Craig Price a little bit carried away there. No need for that offload.
But again, it's noticeable how well the Welsh are pressing defensively. As I say that, France almost getting away, but a good tackle by Lee Williams, doing his job. And now it is Inigo Logel, and looks for the beast. He is a beast, isn't he? Gobelay, what a monster of a man. Hard to believe that he was a winger down in Basque Country. Inigo, Albaladejo. Inigo once more. Again, the press is there from Wales.
Albaladejo looking for the inside pass there.
Well, they can hardly breathe at the moment out there, France. And at last, they do get away, and it's Steve Barry who's going to put France on the board for the first time in this game.
It's all about beating that first man. Wales' press was very good, but you have to make your first-time tackles. And that sort of aggressive press, you have to make the first-time tackle. That time, France, which is exactly what France needed in the second half. They needed to get on the scoreboard early. Get beating that first tackle. Steve Barry did exactly that. That's what France needed, desperately needed to score early in the second half.
Certainly one thing they haven't been doing in this game is beating that line of defence and beating that first tackle. And it shows just what can happen when you do that. So once they were breached, it was a comfortable run-in. And Albaladejo with the conversion.
Barry beating the tackle of Moran there. Then you have to make that tackle.
Just 22 years of age, Steve Barry, one of the youngsters in this French squad. Again, the restart is a bit of a mess, and it was Rhys Shellard who was climbing for it, coming off the bench for Wales now. 19 points to 7, closing in on the final 4 minutes here in this first pool game for Wales, France, USA and Russia in Pool D. And here's the try scorer, Steve Barry. And he gets support on the outside from Renaud Delmas. Steve Barry again, and France coming more and more into this game. Is it too late for them? We shall see. Tries can be scored at a very rapid rate in Sevens rugby, and now it's Burahua. And here is Gobelay. Let's see if he's got that strength to get past this Welsh defence. And he's opened a gap. He's opened a gap. And the try is scored by Burahua, who really is a pivotal man in that French squad. And he gets his 39th try in the World Series. And it isn't too late for France now, with just 7 points between the teams.
Oh, he really couldn't score quickly in this game, but Gobelay showed his strength there. Really powered past that first defender. Beautifully laid back there. That's what it's about. Ball presentation. And that allows Burahua to really pick out the ball quickly. Defence is no time to reset. And terrific response by France in the second half.
And very importantly, they've got the conversion as well. So just 5 points between the teams. 3 minutes left. 3 minutes is a long time in Sevens rugby.
Wales can't seem to get hold of the ball at the moment. Much as we saw it, the carbon copy of that first half. The fact that Wales dominated possession and scored tries. This time, France really have responded strongly in the second half.
Taken in by Adam Thomas, and here's Gareth Davis. Now across comes Burahua. Can he defend this? Well, the answer is he can't, but the kick through didn't work the way Wales wanted it to. But again, they've got up defensively. The tackle was made by Tom Grabham. And the penalty has been given against France here. So not releasing, says the referee.
Well, I'm going to kick for goal as well to increase their 5-point gap at the moment. They want to increase that to 8 points, means France need to score twice. So Lee will be signing to take the 3 points. You can see him pointing there. He wanted Gareth Davis to come and take this.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Look at the clock, look at the scoreboard. Just needs to stay relaxed here. This is a pretty critical kick for Wales, and well, he's managed to nail it, and that is that 8-point margin. So just 1 minute 40 seconds for Paul John and his men to survive.
Good thinking. It's difficult in sevens when you really are blowing hard to keep that grey matter ticking over and be alert, be aware of the scoreline, the time on the clock and the circumstances in the game. They're really taking the steam out of this French challenge in the second half.
Gareth Davis, who dropped that critical goal, will take the restart. 22 points to 14. 3 points for the penalty, of course. And pouncing on the ball there was Aaron Thomas. But there's been a knock forward by Wales. So with just a minute to go, an opportunity maybe for France to create something from here.
They just go very quickly now with a minute to go. The clock is ticking. Still plenty of time.
I bet Tavis Noyle hasn't played as a hooker very often before in his career. The Welsh international 15-a-side scrum half with 9 caps, who's now on the pitch. Tackle coming in there from Owen Williams. Still French ball here. Good bit of counter rucking there by this Welsh side. Again, the importance of working hard at the breakdown is shown there.
Really, you look at the breakdown area of the sevens game, that really has changed an awful lot over the last few years. Very aggressive, very robust counter ruck in there. Really important.
So it looks done and dusted for this Welsh side now as the French bring on another replacement, Pierre-Gilles Lacafia.
Crouch. Touch. Sit.
A bit late for Tavis Noyle to make the Lions squad as a hooker.
Around, walking around loosely prop.
I bet he's finding that an interesting experience, even though it is 3-man scrummages. I'm sure it's still pretty interesting for him in there. Tough on the neck and shoulders. You're not used to it.
Let's go.
Sevens or no sevens, you wouldn't get me in the front row.
Oh, no. Well, there's the hooter and Gareth Davis. And will Wales finish with another try here? That's Adam Thomas in possession. France trying to hold him up with a choke tackle. And they managed to do that.
Gobler showing his strength there. He's a big man.
Well, there is the final whistle, and Wales, despite a couple of scares in that second half when France came back into the game with a couple of tries, have managed to hold on. And the key moment really was Gareth Davis with that penalty kick to give them that 8-point lead.
Well, they only scored 3 points in the second half. All the damage was done in the first.